Hey, welcome to Tabletop Skirmish Games. I'm Lee, and in today's Fighter in Focus video, we'll be looking at the MURKNOB with BELCHA BANNA and seeing how we can use him in the Age of Sigmar and Warcry. Here we go, here's our MURKNOB with BELCHA BANNA from the Kruleboyz, and this is a really great looking miniature building into that swampy theme and some really nice features. And in this video we're going to go through the Warhammer Age of Sigmar WARSCROLL and go through all the stats, and we'll also take a look to see how we can use the MURKNOB in Warcry, and I've created some Warcry fighter cards and abilities for all the Kruleboyz, so we'll explore those in this video too. And here he is, here's the model, looking awesome, really easy to build in this push fit manner, and it goes together really nicely. And there's some fantastic details here with this face of the beast all stretched out, the tongue hanging through there on those spikes, and all the different swampy materials and chains hanging down really add to that aesthetic. Let's have a look at how big the model is, and the fighter himself comes to about 40mm, but to the top of the banner you're looking at about 75mm, so a really good size. And here he is lined up with the other Kruleboyz, just to give you an idea how he fits in size wise with the whole army that comes in that Dominion box set. So a really nice miniature, and it's available in that Dominion box set, and I'll put links in the description below. You can still pick this up, and you can even save up to 25% on the RRP with the links I'll put in the description to Wayland Games and Element Games. Before we go on and look at the fighter cards and abilities for Warcry and the War Scrolls for Age of Sigmar, let's find out a little bit more about the background for the MURKNOB and see how he fits in to the Age of Sigmar and the Kruleboyz army. MURKNOBs are Kruleboyz charged with bearing the BELCHA banners to battle, vicious looking relics that thrum with a sinister power. To approach one of these greenskins is to invite death, either from the toxic fumes emanating from their icon or from the MURKNOB's brutal cleaver. Greenskins of all kinds have a natural love of showing off, and the Kruleboyz are no different. Monstrous leering icons are a common sight amongst their hordes, and the honour of carrying such barbarous standards to war falls to the MURKNOBs. Even amongst the badstabbers, these greenskins are accomplished fighters, and the BELCHA banners carried by the MURKNOBs are as foul as the greenskins themselves. Their focal point is invariably the huge flapping tongue nailed to the icon's maw, and these are the remnants of Mire drakes, vile reptilian behemoths that slither through the stinking marshes. Mire drakes are so venomous that even after severance their tongues drip with noxious slime and periodically belch forth fume clouds from hidden glands, capable of withering flesh and turning bone to slurry in seconds. Fashioning a BELCHA banner is the duty of the swamp caller shamans, and though the exact appearance can vary, they are intended to resemble Kragnos, the end of empires. BELCHA banners seem to have the same magic nullifying properties as Kragnos himself. Even the predatory spells of the Arcanum Optima will flee before these totems, repelled on some instinctive level by their connection to the primeval god. There we go, that's a brief introduction to the MURKNOB with BELCHA BANNA. So now let's take a look at the Age of Sigmar WARSCROLL that comes along with this model in the Dominion box set, and we'll work our way through every section of this WARSCROLL. Let's start with the characteristics for the model, and you'll see that the MURKNOB has a move of 5 inches, he's got a 4+ to save, bravery is a 7, and he can take 6 wounds. And this character's got a very brief description. It simply says a MURKNOB with BELCHA BANNA is armed with a MURKNOB cleaver. And next we've got the weapon characteristics, and it's a melee weapon, that MURKNOB cleaver, and it's got a range of 1 inch. You can make 3 attacks. To hit it's a 3+, to wound it's a 3+, rend is -1, and this causes 2 damage. This fighter is going to come with 2 abilities, and the first is called Power of Kragnos. Each BELCHA banner is said to be linked to the mighty Kragnos. Certainly the terrible roars that emanate from these icons are capable of chasing away even the power of the arcane. When a friendly Kruleboyz Orruk unit wholly within 12 inches of this unit is affected by a spell or the abilities of an endless spell, you can roll a dice. On a 5+, ignore the effect of that spell or the effects of that endless spell's abilities on that unit. The second ability is called Breath of the Mire Drakes. Belcher banners are typically built around the severed tongue of a mire drake, creatures so vile that even after death their remains belch forth clouds of soul-shrivelling gas. At the start of the combat phase, roll a dice for each enemy unit within 3 inches of this unit. On a 1, nothing happens. On a 2 to 5, that enemy unit suffers 1 mortal wound, and on a 6, that enemy unit suffers D3 mortal wounds. So this is great. The MURKNOB with Belcher Banner has an ability that's got a protective element to it, but has also got one that can deal some extra damage in the way of mortal wounds on the enemy. So that's the 2 abilities for our MURKNOB with Belcher Banner. And then finally, we've got the keywords to look at. These are Destruction, Orruk Warclans, Orruk, Kruleboyz, Hero, Totem, MURKNOB, and MURKNOB with Belcher Banner. And so that's everything on the War Scroll. So now let's move on and see how we can use this fighter in Warcry. And here's the card I made for this guy. So this is available for free, and there's cards for all the Kruleboyz and abilities for Warcry that I've put together, and there'll be a link in the description below. So if you'd like to have a look at that and use them in your game, then please help yourself. It's totally free. And so this guy, if you want to use the MURKNOB in your Warcry warband, he's coming in at 155 points. He's got a movement 4, toughness 4, can take 15 hits. He's got the Scream in Skull Rumark, so he's going to get an ability of his own. And his weapon here, he's got a range of 3, so it's up to 3. And he can make 3 attacks, strength 4, dealing 2 to 4 on a crit. So for 155 points, you're getting quite a bit here. That range 3 attack is quite good with that long Belcher Banner. He can use that as a weapon if he wants to and really deal some damage from a distance. So he can keep himself away from the enemy, which is a really useful tactic. And then having those 15 wounds as well is pretty handy. But it's the abilities we want to check out. And this guy's going to be able to get 3 altogether. The first one is a double called Scare 'em Good, and this is because he's part of the Kruleboyz warband, so he can use this ability as any other fighter in that warband with the Rumark can use. And this is called Scare 'em Good, and if 2 fighters are within 2 inches of each other, roll a dice. On a 4+, any enemy fighters within 2 inches of both fighters must move back 1d3 inches. So for this ability, I came away from the traditional kind of Warcry ability, and I wanted to introduce something that played into the narrative of those scare shields, and I thought this would do the trick. But it's not always going to work on the enemy. Sometimes they're not going to be as intimidated. So that D3 mechanism in there kind of represents that. The next ability is another double called Belcher Banner, and this is unique to this fighter, and you'll see that's got the accompanying Scream in Skull Rumark. And until the end of the battle round, subtract 1 from the strength characteristic of enemy fighters while they are within 6 inches of this fighter. So this is using again that narrative of the Belcher Banner to weaken the enemy fighters, reducing their strength, and they're not going to have as much of a chance of doing as much damage to your friendly fighters once that banner is close by. And the final ability is a quad called Stinky Backstabbers, and any member of the warband with the MURKNOB Rumark can use this ability, and until the end of this fighter's activation, we add 1 to the attack's characteristics of attack actions made by this fighter. In addition, each time any fighter, and that can be enemy or friendly, is taken down by attack action made by this fighter, this activation, this fighter can make a bonus move action. So if you can take down a couple of enemy fighters, you could literally make 2 bonus move actions with this. So this could be really handy. And if you can get that damage output going, you could potentially make 2 attacks and 2 bonus move actions. And you're adding 1 to your attacks characteristic as well. So this could be really handy, say towards the end of the battle, towards those final battle rounds, when the enemies had some damage inflicted on them. You can take this guy in to sweep up a little bit. So that covers our MURKNOB with Belcher Banner for Age of Sigmar and also for Warcry. And so don't forget those cards are available for you to download for free with the link below. And if you're interested in picking up this model, you can find it in the Dominion box set. Again, links will be in the description for that. And I've also done more fighter and focus videos for the other fighters, including this Swamp Caller Shaman, and also working my way through for the killer boss on the Great Gnashtooth, and also some of the other fighters, not just from the Kruleboyz, but from the Stormcast too, including Indrasta and also the Knights Arcanum. Let me know what you think about the MURKNOB with Belcha Banna and how you feel he'll fit in with your Age of Sigmar army or Warcry warband. But I'd love to hear what you think. And thanks so much for watching. Hope the video was helpful, gave you a good idea about what this fight is all about. And so thanks again for watching. Please like if you like it, subscribe for more videos like this, and don't forget to hit the notification bell to join me next time on Tabletop Skirmish Games. If you like this kind of content and would like to support the channel, then please check out my Patreon page, and thanks to everyone who's joined so far. It's really awesome. We hang out on Discord, talk about the hobby, share ideas and help each other out, and you'll get some perks there that you're not going to find anywhere else. So I'll put a link in the description, and it'd be great to see you there.